Alright, it's been a while since we've had the finals on the channel, but we're back with some Season 3 gameplay. Been slacking on the YouTube grind, and I wanted to get back into it, and I figured now with the Season 3 release, and honestly a lot of different things for games I've wanted to throw some videos up for recently. The Forza endurance races is another thing. I'll probably have to do a video or two on those. Been having fun with that. Need to do more X-Defiant stuff as well. Still been playing it on the side. It's slowed down a little bit, but I have still been playing it. There'll probably do some more videos on that as well, so look for that too. But Final Season 3 definitely captured my attention, and I figured this was a good place to start, to get back on the YouTube grind. And there's a lot to talk about with this one, and I'm looking at I actually wrote down notes. I usually go off the top of my head and see what happens, but there's just way too much. I had to take notes for this one. I'm just looking at them. I had to fill like both sides of my note card with notes on this season and stuff I wanted to talk about. And I probably forgot stuff too, on top of how much stuff that I wrote down. So I don't know if I'm going to get around to everything. I'll probably miss some stuff. I'll probably talk about it in another video. This one's going to be a longer one. Full tournament gameplay in the background. I'm probably going to switch to just doing like specific rounds of tourneys more often for the videos instead of doing like the whole tourney. But for this one, this is a really good tourney. This is the best one I've had this season so far. And there's a lot to talk about, so I figured, what the hell? It kind of just makes sense. Using the LH1, shout out to Detail playing with him in this one as well. One sub off 100. I'll throw the channel in the description. Go hit him with the 100th sub if you don't mind. You know, go hit him with it. But yeah, last season, we both grinded to Diamond for ranked, and then once we got there. I don't think either of us really played too much the rest of the season, and it was a pretty fun grind. Playing, I'm kind of leading into the elephant in the room here. By the way, I'm kind of segueing into it. It was a pretty fun grind, I gotta say. I enjoyed playing ranked cash out in season 2. It was a lot of fun. Had a good time. There's some highs and lows, but overall, it was I think the ranked cash out experience in this game. Is it the most like competitive thing ever? No, but it's so unique, and it just offers an experience that you can't get in any other like ranked experience for any shooter. Like you just cannot get the ranked cash out experience that you get in this game from any other. It just offers a completely unique gameplay experience. Like the way cash out plays is not like S&D. It's not like King of the Hill. Any type of like arena shoot. It's not like a BR. It's got elements of like all these things, but it's not entirely like any of them. And that's what makes it so fun. And that's why I enjoy it so much. And that's why I keep coming back to the finals. So with this season, they went completely fucking rogue and made a very, 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 very big change. And so what we're playing here, this tournament, is a new like mode, I guess you call it that, called World Tour. It is not ranked. It is not ranked. There is a leaderboard, but it doesn't have a ranked system. There's like a badge type thing, but even the badge, it's like a progression thing. It's not a rank. And the leaderboards isn't based off of like win percentage or anything like that, where it'd be a type of ranked type thing. It's based off of cash. Cash that you, what would you call it in this game? Like, escaped with? It's not like an exfil shoot would. Cash out. It's cash that you earned. Cash that you earned. Why am I, like, struggling for the term with that? But you know what I mean. I just don't really think about it, because the cash is just, like, the score. You know what I mean? So, yeah, basically, it'd be, I guess the equivalent, I'm looking for an equivalent here. It'd be like if there was a leaderboard for, like, TDM. And the leaderboard was like kills. You know what I mean? Like it'd essentially be like that. Or if there's a leaderboard for King of the Hill, and it was like seconds in the hill. That's the equivalent, right? So that is the leaderboard. The leaderboard is essentially time played, right? Not entirely. Obviously, if you're doing better, you're going to be earning more cash. But for the most part, the more you play, the more you're going to climb. Like it's essentially a time played leaderboard. So that's how this World Tour mode works right now. That being said, there's a lot of aspects to it that are kind of unknown. It seems like they're trying to do it in like stages with different types of maps focused in each stage, and I don't really know what the purpose of the stages are and if things are going to reset for the different stages of it. And then there's also a big button when you go to World Tour that says like the finals on it, and it says coming soon, and there's no like real intel that I'm aware of on that or what that is. So I don't really know what the hell's going on with that. So that's what we're playing here. And the reason why we're playing this is because the ranked mode is now terminal attack. So yes, terminal attack, the mode, casual mode that they added in towards the late end of Season 2, that is the ranked mode now. This is a terrible decision. I'm sure everybody's already talked about it and given their 2 cents on it, but so I don't really have too much new to offer here, but I'll just say I agree. It's a terrible decision. I have not tried ranked terminal attack yet because I just have no interest in doing so. If I wanted to play that type of mode, I would play Counter-Strike. I would play COD. I would play Valorant. I'd play whatever the hell else. You know what I mean? Like, I don't... If I want that experience, I don't want to play the finals, because the finals does not lend itself to that experience. It's 2 completely different types of games as well. Like, if they want a terminal attack to really work, they'd have to, like, completely change the identity of the game. They'd have to balance, like, 2 different parts of the game. I think the finals, the sandbox of this game, does not lend itself to that type of mode. It kind of reminds me of Halo. How in Halo, how they've tried to do like an S&D type mode in Halo. 343 Halos especially, they've been like trying to do this for years. And it just never really picks up popularity. It's just a super niche thing, and for the most part, people don't really care for it in Halo. Because it just doesn't really work. Halo's sandbox just does not really lend itself to that type of mode, and I'd say it's a similar deal with the finals. It just does not work well for that type of mode. It doesn't fit, and it's a waste of time dev-wise, and they should stop doing it. They should stop trying to make terminal attack work. It's like the fucking Mean Girls, stop trying to make fetch happen. That's my reference for this one. But seriously though, like, they stop trying to make terminal attack happen. It's not going to fucking happen. You can leave it as a casual mode if you want, or hell, have 2 ranked modes. That's a pretty easy, simple solution. Just have 2 ranked modes. Just have 2. Why not just have 2? But seriously, I don't understand the change. I might have to do a whole other... I want to get to other stuff, so I'm going to move on from this. I might have to do a whole other video focused on... Especially after I try it. Focused on ranting about terminal attack and the World Tour thing and why this change happened. I just... it's really frustrating, man. On the bright side, I'm having a lot of fun playing World Tour. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. But it's still just stupid, and I just still don't get it. I still don't get the change. Whatever. Moving on from that, I'll probably talk about it more. But too long didn't watch on the ranked TA and the World Tour thing. I'm enjoying World Tour. I wish it was just normal ranked cash out, and I hate the ranked terminal attack. I think it's a waste of time. Next big thing. I'm gonna cross these out as I go. Next big thing, the LH1, which I'm using in this gameplay. The LH1, I'm gonna try to go through these quicker now. Is absolutely absurd. This weapon did not need a buff. I genuinely could not believe it when the patch notes came out for Season 3 and I read that they were buffing the LH1. I genuinely could not fucking believe it. Now, on some level, I can understand it because it was a skill cannon. It was a glass cannon as well. Well, the light class as a whole is a glass cannon, right? But specifically the LH1 was like a super skill-based weapon. If you played high-level ranked lobbies last season, you knew that there'd be lights that could really put this gun to good use and could showcase how good it could be. But if you were not in the, if you're in like gold lobbies, I'm not trying to roast anyone, I'm just being realistic here, right? This is not a weapon that's gonna lend itself to casual players or average players. Especially the old version of the weapon. It was really difficult to use, had a really weird looking recoil pattern, and if you spammed it, it could be really difficult to control, and it did do a lot of damage, but it was hard to hit shots. So it just makes sense, right? Like if you're just an average type player, you're probably not gonna like the LH1 very much. Those light players probably would like, I don't know, like the SMGs on light, stuff like that more. The melee weapons, they'd probably more enjoy that type of stuff. They wouldn't like the LH1. And those types of players, I'm sure they have data on it, probably were really unsuccessful and probably would not use the LH1. The problem is the top players would absolutely use the LH1. And with a buff, it becomes obnoxious. You know, it becomes usable now, I'd say, for average players, and absolutely fucking obnoxious for skilled players. And it just completely broke the balance of the game. The LH1 is the best weapon in the game now by a fucking universe. Like, it's like a mile doesn't do it justice. It is the best weapon in the game by an absurd amount. And if you're not playing LH1 Light, you're not going to be doing as much damage as LH1 Lights are going to be doing. Like, it's just, it is ridiculous, and I'm showcasing it well in this background gameplay. Yeah, this weapon, I don't want them to nerf it, though. Now, let me clarify this. What I mean by that, I don't want them to take the current, like, newly balanced version of it and nerf it. I literally want them to just revert the change. I think they should just revert the change. The LH1 was fine the way it was before. It was a skill cannon. It wasn't very good for average players, but skilled players could put really good use to it, and if you put time into it, it could become a really satisfying, really effective weapon to use. That's fine. It's fine for weapons to exist like that maybe aren't used by as many people, but the people that do use them and get good with them become very adept with them, and they become very strong options. Totally fine for weapons like that to exist in shooters. Nothing wrong with it. They did not need to make this weapon more accessible. It's fine for weapons like that to exist. So yeah, LH1, I think they should just revert the change. Sorry, just slammed the coffee. A little amped up right now. I think they should just revert the change. Now, another thing to look at, I'm going to transition into this, the new weapons. The bow is also really good for light, and if they revert the LH1 change, the problem weapon for light might just become the bow. I think the bow is very strong, so that's another thing to look out for. It's fun. It's a fun new addition, but it's very strong, so I do want to mention that. The blades for medium, I honestly have not used them very much yet, so I might have to do another video specifically on those in the future. I can't really talk too much about them yet. The spear, I think the spear is actually pretty good on heavy, but I think the meta right now of people just running light LH1 and just having insane range that does 1,000,000 damage from far away does not lend itself very well to melee gameplay right now. So I think you're gonna struggle. I think you're gonna be frustrated trying to play melee on pretty much any class except for light, because light at least has the mobility to keep up. I think you're gonna be kind of frustrated playing melee on like any class right now because of the current meta with how strong these ranged options are. So that's the thing. There's a big melee focus in this update, but I don't know how good melee really is because of how much better they made some of the ranged options. So yeah, I don't know. But the new weapons are cool and seem stronger than they were to start with the Season 2 ones, where they're still balancing those. So that's good. That's good. It's good that the new stuff is actually, you know, more usable this time around. The Battle Pass. The Battle Pass for the season's awesome. I don't want to talk too much about it. I just want to say it's awesome. It's the best that they've done so far, I think, easily. And I love it. And it's absolutely worth the money. The new gadgets. The thermal bore for light. I'm gonna be honest on this one. I haven't really used this much yet either. Like I said, there's a lot of things changed. There's a lot of things added. I've experimented with a lot. There's still a lot to go. And yeah, this is one that I haven't used too much. It seems fine. It seems fine. I don't know if it's going to be like a mainstay, like everybody on Light's going to use it, but it seems fine. This is another one I'll have to talk more about when I do get to use it. And then there's the Claw. The Claw for Heavy. I think the Claw is very fun. I think the Claw is one of the most fun things in the game. Now, unfortunately, I don't think Heavy is very fun to play right now. I'll get into that too. I think the Claw is one of the most fun things in the game. I'm not sure how, like, technically strong it really is, and then especially with the light meta and so many lights running dash, you could claw them to you, but then they can just dash out immediately. Like, I don't know how good it is right now, but I do think it's really fun to use, and I think it's a great addition to the game. I love the Claw. Love the Claw. Career Circuit BS last season. I just wanted to quickly mention this in here. How the Career Circuit challenges broke, and then they fixed it on, like, the last day. I ended up getting cheesed because of that. Because I wasn't aware of the fix on the last day. I just got on for the day where it was broken, and then I didn't end up finishing my challenges when I absolutely should have, and I'm pissed about that. Can I get my fucking skins? Like, I'm pissed about that. So I'm really upset about that. I don't know if there's any type of compensation coming for that, but I'm kind of upset about it because that was a whole fucking season keeping up with that just to get cheesed at the end for something that was not my fault. Because I got on the day when it should have been working, and it wasn't working, and then I did not get on. I don't remember if I could have or not. But I did not get on the day where they apparently fixed it, and it's like, it should have just fucking worked the whole time. I'm frustrated about that. So that's annoying. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. I know that's a little unrelated to Season 3 stuff, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Health regen changes. This is one of the biggest changes of the season. So Light has 3 seconds faster health regen activation now when compared to Heavy. Medium has 1 second faster. So I believe what it is it's like takes 7 seconds for your health regen to start on Light. I think it's 9 now for Medium, and I think it's 10 for Heavy. I think these changes make sense. I think it's a little weird that Light's is 7, but Medium's is 9. Like, shouldn't it be like 7, 8.5, 10? You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a little weird. So the exact numbers, I feel like Medium gets kind of shafted a little bit there for no reason. I think that's a little odd, so I don't really like that. But overall, I think it makes sense. I'm glad that they made the change for Medium as well, though, because a lot of people were just talking about it for Light. It does make sense to adjust Mediums a bit as well if you're going to adjust Lights. So yeah, I like the change, and from what I've played, it feels good. Yeah, I just W on that one. It's cool. The glitch trap, they made that a lot more effective. It functions differently than it used to, and yeah, it's a lot more effective. It's an actual like good piece of equipment that you can use now. W, I'd say. Sonar grenade buff. This is a big topic, especially with terminal attack. You know, being the ranked mode and a lot of people playing terminal attack and how obviously strong sonar grenades are in a mode like that. But the thing is, the sonars are really fucking strong in cash out now too. The sonars were already good on Light. I don't think that this buff needed to happen. They should probably revert this one. They should probably revert it. I don't think it was necessary. Moving on to a lot of weapon discussion. So I brought up the LH1 outside of the other weapon discussion earlier because it's just so obnoxious that it just needed to be brought up before everything else. Yeah, this gun is a problem. But now I'm gonna go into... Actually, I'm gonna move something from the bottom of the list up before I talk about all the weapon stuff, because I should have mentioned it earlier and I just completely blanked. I ordered my list poorly. New map. So sorry that I'm not playing the new map in the background for this video. I know that's a bit of a throw. I will do another video with a good round on the new map for sure. I absolutely will. And I'll talk about it more in that one, but I will say in this one that I really enjoy the new map. It took a little bit of getting used to. It's really freaking huge. I'll say it's a massive map. I feel like it has to be the biggest map in the game. But it looks fucking beautiful. It might be one of the best looking like multiplayer game maps I've ever seen. I'm not exaggerating. It looks incredible. I absolutely love it. I love the creativity too of, you know, the times in this game with the different maps, with the locations that we've been so far. I love how we went to like a real life location, but like super old instead of, you know, the more futuristic ones like we've been doing, like they've been doing so far in the game. I like that change of pace, and it's cool that they have that creativity to do stuff like that in this game. And the possibilities are endless. Like if they're willing to do that, then the possibilities for, you know, shit that they can do for maps and locations in this game are absolutely endless, and it's super easy to get excited over what they could do in the future. Yeah, so it's just the map's awesome. It has me even more excited for what they're going to cook up in the future too. And yeah, I love it. I love it. I think it's great. Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Love it. Okay, so now weapon stuff. A lot to talk about here. So the 93R, which is the burst pistol on Light, received a weird buff where they tweaked a lot of different values on the weapon. And they were like, all right, we tweaked some things, we buffed some things about it, we nerfed some things about it, but it's supposed to be a buff overall. Try it. It's essentially what they said in the patch notes. I tried it, and it felt weird, felt really inconsistent. There are times where I was like, wow, this is doing a surprising amount of damage, and there are times where I was like, wow, this is fucking terrible. To be fair, it's hard to rate any weapon in the game, especially light weapons right now, because the LH1 and the bow exist. So you're just naturally going to compare them to that, and nothing else compares. So it's just really hard to rate anything else right now. So I just want to say that that's kind of a problem. It's just really hard to do that comparison. Yeah, it's just difficult. So the 93R, I'm going to say this for every fucking weapon. You'd rather use the LH1. But is it better? Yeah, I do think it feels better. I still don't think it's very good, though. I'd still probably rather, not even just the LH1, I'd probably rather use both the SMGs. Hell, I might even use like the other light pistol, like the single tap one over it. So it's better. It feels better. I still don't think it feels very good, though. I still think they need to mess with that one. They nerfed the medium grenade launcher. I'm never upset with a nerf to a grenade launcher. Sorry if you're a grenade launcher enjoyer, but I'm always okay with something like that. So that's fine in my book. Also, I thought that thing was, they buffed it last season, I swear. I swear it was a little oppressive. Like, I thought that shit was pretty fucking annoying. And I've said it before, too, with the grenade launchers. Like, they're weapons where you don't really want them to be good. Like, if the grenade launchers are good, that's gonna be annoying, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about it. FAMAS received a slight buff, which is mostly just like some recoil changes to make it feel a little bit nicer. And a slight damage buff as well. They increased the damage by 1. I'm not sure if... It's 23 to 24, right? So obviously 24 to 25 would make a big difference. 23 to 24, I'm not sure how much of a difference that makes. It probably, with the headshot multiplier, maybe if you work headshots in, maybe reduce the shots to kill by 1, maybe with headshots, I'm not sure. I'd have to go to some spreadsheet gurus to try to figure that one out. But what I can say is it feels better. It feels better. The FAMAS feels a lot better. It actually feels like a legitimate option between the FAMAS, the AK, the SCAR, the model. I will say, they broke the balance of like the heavy weapons and the light weapons in this update, in my opinion. The medium weapon balance is very good now. Again, like the FAMAS, the AK, the SCAR, they're all very usable. The model is very usable. I mean, shit, you could use the revolver. I don't really like the revolver. You could use the fucking revolver. I'm not really too sure about the melee weapons, so maybe that's the weakness. Maybe the melee weapon is the weakness, but yeah, and the grenade launcher too, but I already said my piece on the grenade launcher. But like overall, I think the medium like weapon class balance is like really good right now. I think it's in a really good spot. So I was enjoying the FAMAS a lot. Oh, now we're moving on to heavy, so yeah, I was kind of, you know, segueing into that. They did a slight buff, I believe, to the fire rate of the slug shotty. Yeah, it feels a little bit better. I still don't like it. I still don't like it. So that's just kind of quick opinion on that one. And then now next we have maybe my least favorite change in the whole patch notes besides the LH1 absurdity. They nerfed the absolute hell out of the Lewis and the M60. Now, I think the Lewis is still somewhat usable, although a bit underpowered. I think it's like somewhat usable. But the M60 has been fucking killed. It is terrible. The M60 is back to being a useless piece of shit. I do not understand these Lewis and M60 changes. They spent months tweaking these two weapons and getting them to a good spot. And they finally, in Season 2, got them to a good spot where they were good and usable, but not oppressive. Not every heavy used the M60. Not every heavy used the Lewis gun. In my experience of late Season 2, it was a pretty good balance on heavy. You had some people using the Lewis gun. You had some people using the M60. You had some people still using the SA. Shit, I saw people using the damn slug shotty, the flamethrower, and even the sledgehammer. Literally using everything. After that auto shotty nerf came in, I literally using everything, and it was in a pretty good spot, I would say. But now I think on heavy, you're just gonna see a bunch of auto shotty and flamethrower and melee. That's it. It's gonna be auto shotty, flamethrower, and melee for the most part. Because the slug shotty is too shitty feeling to compete with the ranged options, right? So you could try using the slug shotty for ranged, but it feels so shit that it's just not gonna compete with other ranged options, so it's not really worth it. So you might as well play into the close range. So now heavy, with how ass the fucking Lewis and the M60 are too, heavy has like no range. Heavy has like no ranged option. It's completely limited and made the class like very one-dimensional feeling, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this whatsoever. I kind of hate playing heavy this season, which sucks because I really enjoy the claw. Claw is probably my favorite thing. I think it's the most fun thing that they added gameplay-wise in this season. But I'm not really enjoying playing heavy. I'm trying it, and I'm trying to enjoy it, and I'm just not really enjoying it. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. And I'm just not really happy about that. And I hate these Lewis and M60 changes in particular. And just like the LH1, I think they should just revert it. Seriously, I think they should just revert it. Just revert the damn change. The Lewis and the M60 were totally fine. They did not need to be fucking killed. And this was just fucking stupid. It was just pure stupidity, this change. Whoever made this change, revert it, please. Revert it, please. I just don't think they were thinking straight. They should probably revert it. This did not make sense. And you know, I'm sure devs will always say like, oh, we try to find a good balance for things. We try not to, you know, nerf things into, but that's what they did with this. That's what they did with this. The Lewis and M60 were completely nerfed into obscurity. Like, I hardly see people using them now. It's really sad to see. I really enjoyed using both weapons, and now, yeah, there's no point. There's no point to using them. Double barrel buff. I can't really talk about this. This makes sense because the double barrel was like really prevalent before, but it was kind of dead for a while. So it makes sense that they buffed it. I haven't gotten around to this one yet, so I'm gonna have to try it out, see how it is. Yeah, I'll have to try it out. Throwing knife, nerf. They're still pretty fucking strong. They're still pretty fucking strong. But I'm not upset with these things being nerfed because they're kind of absurd. But is it enough? I forgot to mention the throwing knives, kind of. Like, yeah, the LH1 and the bow are absurd, but, like, the throwing knives are pretty freaking crazy, too. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that one went far enough. Last thing in my notes, the slight light pistol buff, talking about the semi-auto one. They buffed the damage by 1, but it's another damage value where the way the numbers work out, I'm not sure if it even matters. Like, maybe with a headshot it matters. I'm not sure. I'll have to try it. I'll have to see how it is. Again, I've experimented with a lot of stuff. I'm sorry I can't give an opinion on everything in this video, but there's so many things that they've adjusted, and I've been trying a lot, and I still haven't quite gotten around to everything, so I'm working on it. But yeah, we're closing out this gameplay, and I've gotten to everything on my notes. Let me know how you're feeling on Season 3 in the comments, or if there's anything that I like really missed that I should have talked about or something like that, because I'm sure there is. I tried to get to as much as I possibly could have. But yeah, overall thoughts on Season 3. I think this season is going to feel amazing in about a month. I think they've made more drastic changes in the patch notes, and I think there's more misses. I shouldn't say more misses than hits in general, but I think there's more misses than there were in the last, like, big season patch notes with Season 2. I think they took a lot of big swings and a lot of big misses in this one. And they're really hurting the gameplay of the game right now. So, once some of those changes get dialed back, I think it'll actually be really fun. So yeah, I think Season 3, it's still fun right now, but there's some stuff that's really fucking frustrating, and I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to that first update that'll hopefully, you know, quickly address some of these issues. Because again, like, once we get a few hotfixes, once we get a few updates, again, like in a couple weeks, few weeks, maybe a month, I think this season's gonna be absolutely incredible. But right now, unfortunately, I could only give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10 because some of the balance changes are so obnoxious. The content-wise, it's like a 10. Content-wise, it's like a 10. But like gameplay-wise, I think this is worse than Season 2 right now by a good amount. But with time, I think it will get better. So there you go. That wraps it up. We'll see the whole scoreboard for the tourney here. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was fun. I'm having fun playing, streaming the finals, doing videos on it again. It's been a really good time. See the final score. Oh, player card change. That's a good one, too. I forgot to mention that. That's a good one, too. But yeah, really good tourney right there. Enjoyed that one. Had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did, too. And yeah, see you in the next one.